And Local 4 has been able to give you some expert insight, too, into the shooting and the investigation, thanks to Local 4 safety expert Darnell Washburn.
He has a long history in law enforcement, also worked as a police officer at MSU. Right now, he joins Devin Skillion on the campus of Michigan State this evening. And Devin, this has been such a very tough, difficult, and emotional day for really everyone.
It sure has, Karen and Kimberly. It was amazing last night. It's been about 2 months ago that we added to the Local 4 family Darnell Washburn as our crime and public safety expert. And I thought last night, as we were launching into what we knew was going to be an intense night of coverage, how lucky that we had. And then it dawned on me that, Darnell, part of your long history in law enforcement was being an officer right here on the Michigan State University campus.
Yeah, Darren, yeah. So it really impacted me in a very different way. I mean, as a professional in law enforcement, but to have it hit home and come full circle, it really was surreal to think about all this, everything that transpired.
And what's it like now today to be back walking through, as I keep saying, almost a kind of ghostly quiet campus today?
It's very tranquil and it's very sombering, and that's not what it would normally be here at Michigan State. And so it just really it underscores the impact of what happened yesterday.
I've been talking about this long tape of the crime scene tape that goes pretty much around the almost around the entire block. But that's what's critical now, is that this has to be treated by the Michigan State Police and state police as a crime scene. FBI's here as well.
Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of due diligence to do because of the amount. I mean, the whole building is a crime scene, and this Union building houses all kinds of facilities, bowling alleys, food, restaurants, I mean, study areas. So it's the entire building is a crime scene, and there's a lot that needs to be processed here.
Yeah. I wanted us to take just a moment of time to talk about misinformation and disinformation that you and I talked about a lot last night. If you were watching a Twitter feed, even if you were listening on the scanner, which you think you're listening to, official traffic, there's just a lot of clutter in that. It's chatter, and not all of it, of course, turns out to be true or accurate. I mean, and even people were sharing names and photographs, none of which turned out to be true. That's got to be a frustration for law enforcement.
It's frustrating, Devin, and it also it moves the investigation back even further. That misinformation may have given the suspect more time to elude the police, and so we have to be cognizant of that, and just, again, like we talked about, use official. Anything that you see has to officially come from the university in that situation, circumstance, because it can really detract from the investigation and cause things to be more delayed.
And then ultimately, the other thing we spent a lot of time talking about last night was this very strange dynamic where we had this description we were putting out. People were wanting help from the police were wanting help from the public. At the same time, they were being told to shelter in place and not be out and about, and yet that tip is what made the difference, right?
Yeah, very, very much so. And, I think that tip actually came from, I don't know where it came from. I won't speculate,
sure.
But I think, the tip extended further than the MSU community. And so that tip went all the way to the city of Lansing, where ultimately the suspect was found. And so you're right, we told people to shelter in place, but it just speaks to the power of media and being able to get this message out even further than just MSU, but even further than that area, and it helped to actually get the suspect.
So right, Darnell. And in fact, Karen and Kimberly, when you come back to me here in just a short while, we'll be hearing more about the way that law enforcement talked about the way that tip worked and helped bring at least that portion of what happened last night to a close. Back to you guys.